Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hello Neighbor 60. So far, I've done 60 episodes of Hello Neighbor, not including the specials and not including the sibling specials. But just as a recap for some of you who may be new to this channel, Hello more of a chill out space for the community where we talk about anything. This is a very specific theme I feel needs to really be addressed with the community. But it's not so much a focused transmission or teaching, but rather it's more of just a means of saying hello to everyone and seeing how everybody is. And it's just a nice way to, bring folk together. And of course, Hello Neighbor is inspired by the work of Reverend Fred Rogers, whose work in television basically, inspired hope in millions and millions and millions of people. And, the world is yet to see someone quite like him. But we do our best here. So let's see who's here today. I see Mad Titan. Hello, hello. I see Candy. Hello. Nice to see both of you. How are you doing? How has your new year been? Feel free to talk about anything. Can be light and soft and fluffy. Can be dense and heavy and requiring a deep approach to things. It can be anything. So, how are you doing? What's going on? I get to tell you about something interesting that I did recently whilst I'm, looking at replies and stuff. So, in the spirit of trying more vegan desserts, I decided to experiment a little bit and make a tapioca cake. Now, for those of you who don't know what tapioca is, I wouldn't say it's an alternative, but it's a flour that's made from a particular root. And so tapioca flour, when it's used in desserts, can make things very soft, but also kind of gummy at the same time. So I ended up making a tapioca cake with coconut cream and nutmeg, ginger, vanilla, and cinnamon. And the thing is, I had the batter ready, and then I went to try and use my new oven, which is really cheap and from China, and it refused to work. Um, but somehow, my brother had bought an air fryer last year because it was on something like a ridiculous 75% sale here. And I tried it and I managed to make it with the air fryer. So that was a very interesting experience because I'd never used one before. And so I ended up having tapioca coconut cake, which was nice. And I see Suzanne here. Suzanne, it's nice to see you. Nice to see everyone. We're just having a Hello hangout, and the conversation flows based on what cool little snippets I have to share with people, and also based on what you want to talk about. So if there is something you want to talk about, feel free. We're not really doing anything particularly focused here, just being and discussing. And I had just finished telling people about my tapioca cake, which is, it worked actually. I think I'm on to something. I think I'm on to something. So, and in fact, you do find tapioca cakes in Malaysia, especially from Nyonya cuisine, which is a kind of a fusion of the indigenous population and also Portuguese influences in cuisine that came along. And when you make a tapioca cake, even in a normal oven, it takes something like 2.5 hours. So it was a bit of experimentation with the air fryer. But as I said, if anyone just wants to say hi, or if people just want to come and go, that's fine. Keeping it light, keeping it breezy, keeping it easy peasy, and just because we do also need that in these times. And plus, I've already said everything I needed to say in the thematic overview, which you can find in earlier videos on this channel. For those of you looking for, guidance. So. Anything anyone wants to talk about, feel free. Don't be shy. Hello Neighbors are quite open in this sense. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep telling you about random stuff, um, which also helps. I remember that one of you actually told me that, during the time of the pandemic, the Hello Neighbor series was really helpful in just helping you feel more connected to people at this time. And, I'm really grateful to be able to do that. Oh, Candy has a serious questions. Been meaning to email you questions about backdoors. Likely still will. Simply, what exactly is it, and how does one maintain its security? I'm guessing you mean how does one maintain your security in the face of a backdoor? See, anything can be a backdoor. Anything. If you are, let's say, you are intimate with someone who, shall we say, has been doing all kinds of weird, batshit crazy spiritual practices, and you allow them to access your energy, that's backdoor. If you are overcommitted to a particular ideal or ideology without looking at your own free will and without looking at your own thoughts, that's a backdoor. If you are determined not to look at anything and hide your head in the sand, that's a backdoor. Effectively, a backdoor is anything that forces your attention away from the perimeters of whatever it is that you're looking at. And it doesn't really need to be any one specific thing. And looking at backdoors something is part and parcel of what you do throughout spiritual life. The thing is, when a person is in their early phase of seeking, there's a phase where we come into awareness that we are on a spiritual path. And then there's the phase of realizing, okay, there's a lot that I'm still holding on to. And in this initial phase, it's important to look at backdoors that we have been carrying for a long time, whether it's from this lifetime, whether it's from other lifetimes, whether it's from things that we get through people who are near and dear to us, people who are around us, people we are close to. And once we get through this experience of purging and fortifying our boundaries, we still need to be on the door, on the lookout for other back doors that can come in, as it is anything that forces your awareness away from your own boundaries and away from what it is that needs to be protected. So I know it's a general answer, but it is a general question. So I hope that helps. The Puja says, hello all, happy to catch a live. Hello, hello. This is a hello neighbor. So, the topic is open and just feel free to have a cup of tea or something and just chill and relax. And I see Magneto Onyx. Hello, brother. Hello, I've been meaning to email you. And I see lots of people here whom I absolutely, absolutely adore, and long-term members of the community. And I'm very happy to see all of you. But if there's something you just want to share, anecdotes, questions, let me know. Let me know. Um, though today I had a good milestone. So since I got ill around about 2019, um, it's been really hard for me to maintain my physical balance, which I know is ridiculous. I'm amazing sitting down. But, because a lot of hits went to the body, it was really difficult to even manage physical balance. And so I've been very unsteady on my feet for the past couple of years. And so I actually managed to walk up a flight of stairs today, which sounds like a very small thing for most people, but for me it was a really big deal. Given the fact that the sun is squared Chiron, it is a huge deal. Mind you, it still hurt, and it still hurts from doing that, but I was very proud of myself. So that was something good that happened today. Candy says, I feared you would say it can be almost anything. Yeah. Makes perfect sense and aligns with my experience. Thank you. I'll message you later. No worries, no worries. I mean, the thing about any kind of spiritual work is that, and Candy says, yay for conquering the stairs. Well, it was one flight of stairs, and I was still very proud of myself because I had an appointment. I didn't want to cancel it, and I was just like, we're doing this. Though I did have a little help coming down because the last part of it didn't have a railing. But still, yay to me, yay to me. It doesn't matter who you are. When there's a certain time in your life you're meant to get a whack, you get a whack. But the most important thing is how you get back up again. And that's what this is about. And to be honest, am I upset about all the BS that has happened? At a human level, yeah, definitely. But at the same time, I also see that it's changed my path in a way that it wouldn't have otherwise. And it's also actually made my path open itself a lot more to people who experience deeper levels of vulnerability because of physical trauma, because of spiritual trauma, and all kinds of things. So, not saying it was worth it, not saying it wasn't, just I'm happy that I managed to go up the stairs today. It took me, 5 years. So, having said that, Hanuki is jumping wildly up on a chair to indicate her cheering me on. But as I said, yes. So, progress, moving, and any questions, just let me know, let me know. And also tapioca cake, which has been discussed. Do you have a message for the people? No, now she's jumping up, and her sister is also jumping up. Okay, so I've inspired a little flurry of energy with the feline fellows here, so that's okay. Katia says, getting a thyroidectomy soon. Suffering from Graves' disease for 2 years so far. Your health journey is inspiring. Thank you very much. I really touched to hear that. I mean, you know, it's hard. And I'll tell you one thing I was actually sharing with my Tier 23 folk. Um, a lot of the time in any kind of healing, it doesn't matter whether it's a serious illness, whether it's a scrape, whether it's just, a couple of bruises or chronic pain, whatever it is, one of the things you always got to remember in any stage of your healing journey is that you are not your illness. You are not your disease. You are not your pain. And one of the analogies I gave was like eating a mango. And effectively, when, if you eat a mango, obviously you have the taste, you have the experience of it, or you dislike it, and you eat it, and your body interacts with it, and part of the mango becomes part of you through the process of assimilation. And the rest goes out, right? But at the same time, the mango itself is the mango. It only becomes part of you when you internalize it, when you assimilate it. And so it is with pain. We make so much of our identities, into something that is shaped around the pain because we feel like we have to process it in that way. But it's not needed, in the sense that no matter how tough things are, you are always there. And the consciousness that is you is free from pain. The consciousness that is you is not defined by pain. And this is something that I had to learn and embody very, very, in like without, there was no safety net here, at least in a human sense. In a spiritual sense, definitely have had angels watching, the good ones. But, it just having to realize the fact that no matter what showed up for me every day, I was always there. No matter if I wasn't able to do something I would normally do, like use the toilet normally, I was always there. And I had to keep reaffirming that through that entire experience and journey. And that was one of the things that got me through. And it's still a continuing journey. My Cairo is happy to see that, his treatments are working. A very kind friend of mine paid for my package to go get some radio frequency treatments for my torn tendon. So I'm having more mobility now, which is great. And so, is I've been shown a lot of kindness and a lot of grace, and that's also been very affirming. And it's good to be able to just show up to community and say, hey, everything hurts like a whatever, but I'm still here. And that's real, and it's totally real. And Katia says, happy cats are a good sign, lol. Happy is one word. Lucky looks like she's about to go and I don't know. You put a little hat on her and she looks like Napoleon about to invade something. She looks deeply intense, but that's usually how she looks. That or she just spotted a bug. Tiraf says, oh, perfect timing. Hi, Sky Priestess. Hey, fam. Hey, fam. We're just doing a Hello Neighbor today. And so whatever comes up, and we just talk about it. No real agenda. If you go back earlier, I talk about my tapioca coconut vegan cake that I made in the air fryer. It was quite good, actually. It was quite good. But then I used so many spices that were deeply warming that, it made my stomach work, and I was just deeply intense and focused for the entire day, which is really good. So, but anywho, what else is going on with anyone? Anyone have any questions you'd like me to answer? It's okay if it's light, it's okay if it's heavy, whatever, or just stuff that you want to share. Let me know. Otherwise, I will just keep. It's. I'm just keeping the flow of conversation going and looking to see if there are any comments. Um, yeah, yeah. Well, that's what's been going on, and I would say definitely the vibe of this year feels a lot more hopeful. I know looking at, if you notice, the last proper yearly overview I did was 2020, and in the 2020 overview I was already like this, and it's the first year since then where I really felt like I have something good to say that will actually help motivate people. Because if I give them the actual truth of what has been going on, that's going to demotivate and demoralize. So it's been the first year in a long time where I actually feel like, yes, things are moving and not just for me. So, it's good. It's very good. I'm very happy to see this. Magneto says a lot being revealed already for the new year. Pro tip, everybody. Pro tip. This new moon in Capricorn coming up is a biggie. When I was writing about it for the monthly program, I already wrote before knowing what was going on. I said, look, there are going to be big, big decisions made with respect to justice on this planet. Because this moon is going to be aspecting Uranus, the nodes, Juno. It's a big deal. Big deal to do with soulmate connections, big deal to do with justice, big deal to do with selfhood, big deal to do with just you building shit in the right way. So pay attention to this moon. Whatever you anchor, you're going to need to look back throughout this year. June and July, as I said in my video, are super vulnerable months. And there, around June 22nd, I believe, we have the Capricorn full moon. And that's the time you've got to have to hold on to that vision. So really plant your seeds well at this time, okay? Plant your seeds well. Tiraf says, just thankful for what you do. I share your work, send friends your way. Oh, thank you. I was so excited when my friend said she booked with you. Who's your buddy? Message me if you don't feel comfortable sharing, at least on this platform. Katia said, the thyroid is the shape of the butterfly. Yes. The icon of metamorphosis. Yes. I'm learning to let go of iconography and embrace a change into that kind of guidance. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Thyroid is interesting. I mean, and this is something, it's like a lot of these glands, because their work is so interconnected to so many other systems, so many other parts of the body. The endocrine glands are just, they're amazing in all that they do. And they actually show us, when we look at their functions and processes, they show us just again how interconnected things actually are. So, working with the thyroid and working with the energies of what is present there, it can certainly open up a lot of things for you, especially things to do with expression and will. And it's a very powerful time for that. But it's good that you're looking into all of this now, because we see so many activations to Uranus and Taurus this year. We also see a lot of Gemini energy coming up later in the year. So you're going to need the freedom to use that voice and will. So it's good that you're looking at that. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Anyone else have anything cool going on? Anything you want to share? Let me know. Let me know. I found out that there's a cafe that opened in the building that I live in. And it's supposed to be a Malaysian cafe, but it's run by people who are migrants from Afghanistan and from Myanmar and Vietnam. So I went down and I said hello to everybody, and asked them all where they're from. So now they get extra excited if me or my brother go and say hi to them, because they're far away from home and people just treat them like they're just workers. And that's a ridiculous thing to do. So I got new buddies. And I just get extra wide smiles when I come by, and they're all happy to see me. And they make really, really good fries. Not that I usually enjoy fries because they tend to be soggy, but they make really good fries. I'm quite pleasantly surprised by that. I knew something was up, because one of the things I like to drink is tea, and I don't drink it as often as much as I like it, but I can taste by the way a person makes tea. And there's a certain way Malaysians make it, and I tasted this tea and I was like, something about this is really good, but really, really different. And then I found out they were from somewhere else. You can tell, it's in the hands. Hello, Jane. Now, Jane is probably the most centaur focused person I have ever met in this community, which is not a bad thing. And Jane wants to know, would you comment on the centaur Aureus following Pluto? Well, the thing about Aureus is that, hey, nobody really knows let me put it this way. There are different ways that you can look at astrological bodies. Actually, no, I'm thinking of Arcus, but you're asking about Aureus, which is different. Yes, 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 yes. My apologies. I was thinking about Orcus when I read that first. So, hmm. Uh, it's a good question, actually. Let me question, and I'll return to it later in the discussion. Let me think about that. I don't just want to give a knee jerk response, but let me think about that, Jane. Good question. Candy says the power of good French fries is underrated. When you really get it good, you get it good. It's something. Tara says, I love tea. Hibiscus is my favorite. Oh, that's nice. I like various teas. I mean, in terms of the usual standard teas, Earl Grey. It's got to be Earl Grey. So, let me just refresh my memory on Aureus and make sure that I'm thinking of the right one. But in the meantime, keep the comments coming. Keep the comments coming. So yes, now I have now I have new buddies. And so if I walk around, and because my Cairo says I need to walk around more, yeah, I got people who'd say hi to me, which is nice, and it's very good to say hello, neighbor. Which hence all of this point. Let's see. mm-hmm. 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 Right. Hmm. Well, hello. Katia says, what teas do you recommend for alcohol addiction? I can't really comment on a specific addiction, so to speak, but I can tell you that when you're wanting to clear deep patterns, I have found no better tea than wormwood. But do not take it if you are pregnant or trying to get pregnant, because it will bring everything out. So basically, I would say wormwood is really, really good, but don't use it too long because it is extremely powerful. And you really need to check in with a naturopath, especially as you've already got thyroid issues. So look into that as a possibility. I see VB. Hello, VB. How are you? How are you doing? I hope things are going well for you. Let's see. Hmm. 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 Oh, okay. Katia says for your love, not you. Okay. Well, in that case, maybe give Wormwood a go and see what happens. Hmm. Well, I'm just rereading things to answer Jane's question, because effectively Oreos, or Oreus, depending on the spelling as you see it, were a pair of half bear giants, and they were eventually transformed into birds, one as an eagle owl and another as a vulture, by the gods as a punishment for their barbaric cruelty and cannibalism. I'm reading out directly because I want to make sure I get the myth right. And their names mean wild one or savage one from the Greek word agrios, and of the mountain from Oreos. Well, Oreo sounds on the surface. Oreo sounds better than than his brother, the eagle on top of the mountain, which sounds good. But the question is, what is the eagle looking for? Is the eagle actually looking for something and someone to help and assist? Is it there to provide wisdom and guidance, or is it there to find food? So, my initial instinct is it is wise not to pedestalize Oreos just because people say eagles are wise thing, because the beings that eagles prey upon will not have that point of view. And given the fact that it is very, very close to Pluto, I would say we really need to be looking at dynamics that deal with potential sources of abuse that come from up above. It can, if it manifests in a benevolent way, it can also reveal those patterns from a bird's eye perspective. But it would also come down to many other factors. But in a nutshell, I would say either dynamics of abuse perpetuated from above, or a perspective from above that is able to see things. So, moving along, I hope that answers your question in a nutshell. I wouldn't say it's a positive or a negative, because it's impossible to say if Pluto is a positive or a negative. In the same way that, yes, the eagle can be very wise, but if you are the one that the eagle is preying upon, your perspective will be different. So, Tiraf says, I like to add turmeric and cayenne to my hot tea with citrus and honey. That sounds good. That might help if you like spicy drinks. Honestly, I don't. I don't actually like spicy food that much, despite my genetics. I prefer food that's a lot milder. In fact, when my new favorite restaurant, which is downstairs, I ordered myself some mango Thai salad and spent most of the night running to the bathroom because they added in like this much chili. And I was like, yeah, no, not a fan of spice. Light spice, yes. Sharing or just ask, how is your health? I am getting better, thank you very much. My Cairo tells me that I'm making improvement, and I think the work they're doing on my tendon is helping a lot. I managed to go up a flight of stairs today, so I was very proud of myself. Michelle Ray says, hello, neighbors. I'm in Ohio and it is snowing. Thank you, Dr. BB. Hello, Michelle. Enjoy the snow. I remember the first time I saw snow. I was 16. I was in Indiana, and I think I was at a library or something, and I just saw it start falling down like soft little things. And I remember it was the first time I'd ever seen snow in my life, and it was very, very beautiful. What happens to it 1 or 2 days later is a different matter, but that first day is always magical. Um, let's see. Jane says, gracias. I'm grateful for your insight. I hope that helps. I mean, I'm sure there's more that can be said about it, but you know I mean, I think most of you know my relationship with mythology. It's one part of the puzzle. Um, Shay says, Michelle Ray, please keep the snow. It's on the way to New York. I'm going shopping now. Lol. Vivi says, is this live? Yes, yes. And first he asks, is this love? I hope so. Hello, neighbor should be loving. And then he says, live. Yes, it's also live. Teref says, lol, I'm in Indiana. Just looked outside and we have a little snow this morning. Oh, nice, nice. I remember once when I was in England, I made a snow person, a pregnant snow person. Not by design, but my snowman simply just did not look male. So it was a pregnant snow person. So that was that was an interesting experience. But yes, yes. Oh, okay. Also, thank you for saying my name right. Most people can't say it. Oh, you're welcome. I mean, I have a complicated name, so most people go with Dr. B, which is fine. Bhairavi is how you say my name. It's quite simple. It's Bhai, like Bhai, R sound, and a V, and you say that Bhairavi. That's how you say it. But I understand. I understand. Katia says Los Angeles is expected to have the big one earthquake. Do you see that for LA? We have billionaires building bunkers, but I think it's fear mongering. Honestly, hard to say. I mean, I haven't, if you're asking me, have I had any specific visions of impending doom in California? I have not had those visions. So, in that sense, nothing on that radar is coming up for me personally. But I think a lot of it has to do with Mama Gaia. And so far, Mama Gaia has tolerated us. And I think enough people are choosing to do things differently. So hopefully she doesn't pull the plug. So that's how I would see it. But I would say, there are issues happening with Los Angeles. There absolutely are. Because it is on a fault line and geology influences the way a land and a people evolve in response to it. There's a lot of activity on that line. There's a lot of activity on that line. So people may be aware of that as well. And some people are going to feel like it's at the boiling point. Los Angeles is a hot spot for, the clashing of different levels of consciousness as well. Diane says, hi, Dr. BB. Will the new moon be good for calling in love? Thank you. Well, the thing here is that the south node is in Libra, and the south node is aspecting the new moon. But here's the stuff. Here's the stuff. Um, well, the south node is not really something you should be trying to control. So if something comes, if it is in your karma, your fate, your connections with the divine, whatever you want to call it, and if it comes to you and it's good, keep it. And if it comes to you and it's trying to take you off your path, say bye bye to it. I would say rather than focusing on new love, focus on the north node, which is yourself. Because rather than call in new love, call in a new you if you feel that is appropriate. Because that might be what is actually needed for the gates of Libra to open. And because in that sense, they are interconnected. So I would say it's good to call it from that perspective and allow new relationships to emerge if they are aligned with the self. Um, Diane says, oh, Hannah, Candy says, never understood why it was usually always a snowman. It's not like they're usually sculpted with all the parts. I mean, mine had curves, okay? Mine had curves. It wasn't not done on purpose, but mine had very definite curves. Diane says, Latin name for wormwood is Artemisia absinthium. Yes, naming the green alcohol. Correct. Artemisia is also the goddess of the hunt, connected to the moon and autonomous in nature. Also correct. And it is very, very good for fertility in general, but not, again, not when you are actually, pregnant or trying to conceive. It is good in purifying that neck of the woods, so to speak. So yes, good points, good points. And it's also very good I find wormwood has a conscious, I mean, all plants have their own consciousness. That's one of the reasons why, despite the fact I'm trying to, shift towards more plant, a heavier a diet based more on plants and so on, I don't really agree with the whole vegan concept of it's perfectly fine to go and murder plants and not animals, because when you are attuned enough, every plant, every rock, every tree, every cow, every human, every being has its own consciousness. And the more you look in that consciousness, everything has a voice and a will to live. So, personally, I think breatharianism should be the goal. And so my trajectory is that. I get where they're coming from, but plants also have intelligences, and people forget that. They scream when they're about to be cut. You can't hear them, doesn't mean it's not happening. But having said that, going off on a tangent. Um, Yes, yes, but good points. Thank you for bringing that up, and it's one of the reasons why I also suggested that to Kathia when Kathia was asking about addiction. But on the topic of addiction, if you do use essential oils, and always look at contraindications, be very careful around children and pets, or I should say fur babies, feather babies in different species forms. Black pepper is very good in helping to see a person's innermost motivations. And when you are dealing with addiction, what I have found is that it's not, when you look at the symptoms of addiction, you can get very frustrated by that. But when you actually look at the reason behind it, why is it there? What prompted this? What unprocessed experience or unacknowledged reality is this person running away from? And when you actually look at addiction from that perspective, that actually shifts things very quickly. But the person doing the looking needs to be the person who has the issue, not the person around them. And generally speaking, for people who are involved, and this is a general note, for people who are involved with those who are working through addiction patterns, a book called Women Who Love Too Much can be extremely helpful, by Robin Norwood. It's certainly a book that changed my life and really helped me understand how so much of who we think we are really, it still plays out responses to very old things in early childhood, and from my perspective, even earlier than that. So when we see how certain patterns may have emerged because of certain source points, the person then has to ask themselves, who are they when they are confronted with this information? Black pepper can be very, very helpful for that. But pro tip. But yes, anything else anyone wants to bring up? Anything you want to discuss? Let me know. Let me know. Here we go. Oh, let's see. Apart from that, I have been getting back into Scrabble, which is a game that I loved playing with a friend of mine when I was in England. He's a little older than me, and I'd always go to his house. It's like an older brother, and we would always play together. And finally, 14 years later, I defeated him in a match of online Scrabble. See, I waited 14 years to defeat this guy, and I finally did. And then I was like, yes. So now he's very disconcerted that the status quo has been changed. So that's what I'm doing, terrifying a few people through Scrabble. So that has been something that's become a nice little hobby for me. I mean, not intentionally, but apparently I can be an intimidating player. Okay. Katia says you must be a Scorpio moon to wait 14 years, lol, or Virgo maybe. Virgo. Virgo. I mean, it wasn't like in a malicious way. It wasn't a, I have got to defeat you by becoming better than you at this, because it was a very sibling connection, and still is. So it finally happened. So I'm very pleased about it. But we're not gloating or anything. So I'm just happy it finally happened. But I am very, very patient. I am ridiculously patient. And so we'll see where that goes. So that's also what I have been doing. In addition to diligently working on health stuff, I am thinking about how to do more things with the community this year. And now that I'm slowly getting my energy back, which has been on the low for the past few years, hopefully this is the year I can actually get those books done. And this is the year I can get those courses done. And, by the will of spirit, maybe even start traveling and doing some workshops again. Because those workshops I know have changed lives. And so, it'd be very good to do all of those things. And I'm trying to do as much as I can, but also trying to have a good quality of life and improve things step by step, bit by bit. One stack is today, maybe it'll be a mountain next year. We'll see. Step by step, bit by bit. You know? But yes, anything else anyone wants to talk about? Any questions? Let me know. Let me know. This is a space where people can just chat, and that's totally okay. Um, yeah, yeah. Let me see. What else can I tell you about? Nothing major. I'd say that's it. So I'll give a minute for anyone if there's any other work, and then go get some sleep, or maybe play another game of Scrabble. We'll see. Jane says, "There's your mustard seed. May all of them flourish this year." Thank you so much, Jane. Phoenix hello from Texas, because I don't really know U.S. at this time. Nice to see you. Well, see from a given value of the word. But yeah, we've just been generally chatting about various things as we do in Hello Neighbor. I haven't done one of these for a while. Candy says, "Did you try the eggnog again?" See, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Now, the I have half a batch from my tapioca spiced tapioca cake. And here's the thing, most of those ingredients are exactly the ingredients for coquito, if I'm saying that right. So what I'm thinking is maybe we might just take that stuff and boil it with diluted coconut cream and make our eggnog that way, and then chill it. Because I do have some special stuff saved up to add a lot of flavor and happy times. So that's a good reminder. I might actually try doing that. So yes, we haven't done the eggnog yet. We're still pacing ourselves, taking it one step at a time. So, but thank you for the reminder. Yeah. Don't know if you can hear. Sometimes it's nice to see it, by the way. Having said that, I would say that is a wrap. And it's lovely to see all of you. Lovely to sit with community. Thank you as always for your support. And yeah, be good to yourselves, be good to others within balance, and set the right seeds for this new moon, because it is a biggie. And it's going to sustain you, especially when times are a little rocky or the vision is a little less clear, especially around June, July. It's going to sustain you through that point and into the rest of the year. So, best foot forward. Oh, and Phoenix says, and that's my birthday. Happy birthday in advance. Treat yourself good. Make sure you set a good seed. And I've been doing that more consciously the past few years, and I do see it working. Birthdays are really important. There's a reason why we celebrate them. It's not just about presents, but it's about presence. It's about presence. So be fully present and do good things. On a different note, I did discover something and I realized as my mobility is slowly coming back, my appetite for life is slowly coming back as well, which is good. It's like my body has been in a state of stasis, which is fine, and now it's not. So I actually found a Pakistani buffet place which I would like to go and try out. It menu looks good and the price is very reasonable. So I'm thinking of going and trying that out with my brother. What we do is we take the little fellows wherever we go because they get awfully sad when we're not around. So we all go in our family car, and if we go to a restaurant, I might go in or he might go in first, and then we take turns. So we might do that because that would be a good thing to do. And yeah, just make good memories, do good things. You know, life doesn't, you don't need to be, luxuriously endowed in terms of material stuff. Just enough to go and do these things and, treat yourself. And I do want to thank people who have been sending contributions my way for my birthday, and just as a thank you for work I might have done for them or just for these messages. So thank you so much for that. That helps a lot, and it also encourages me to keep doing what I'm doing and being what I am. I see Tamalan. Tamalan, I have not seen you in such a long time. Good morning. Good morning. It's nice to see you. I hope you are doing well. I hope, things are going well for you in 2024. A lot has already been uncovered in the first few days of this year. That's certainly been the theme in the previous years. The first week tends to set the theme for the entire year. Ram Taguna says, big fan, bro. Now, shouldn't it be sis? But well, hi Ram. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um so yeah, but no, I was just about to head out. You can go back to the beginning of the discussion. We're just talking about various things, and I hope that the discussion has brought a little joy, brought a little happiness, and some silliness in a good ways. Oh, Tamalan says, I was so happy to see you dancing. Thank you. And I didn't share that here, but on my birthday, thanks to the Herculean efforts of my chiropractor, I was actually able to go to a jazz night, and they were performing like Portuguese, no, Portuguese, Brazilian jazz, that kind of thing, and it was really nice. No, Brazilian. There we go, Brazilian jazz at a Portuguese restaurant. I'm confusing it, and they knew it was my birthday, and they had a special seat for me, a sofa because of my back. And I managed to get up and I managed to, it was to Santana, whom I love. I managed to do a little bit of salsa. It was about 3 or 4 minutes. And then I had to sit for 2 days afterwards and not move. But I still managed it on my birthday. So I was very happy about that. And, it's gratitude to the divine, gratitude to everyone who has wished me well and who has done their part in helping me get better. So yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I was very, so things are looking up. Things are looking up. Step by step, bit by bit, just like a little cappy goat up the mountain. And that's how you go. So having said that, signing off. Lovely to see all of you. Take care and very many blessings to everyone. Be aware that this new moon coming up is significant. Put your best foot forward. Don't take anyone for granted, including yourself. That's about it. Ciao, ciao for now. Bye, everyone.